it's Jacob here. Let me just get set up because obviously this is a sit and talk uncut video for today. I felt like I had to express something, so I might do so, and I'll try to make it less edited and more raw itself. So I come in as Jacob today. I'm not Jabco. I'm not all the characters. I'm just going to talk about what's been going on for the past few years, especially before I turned 20, which was in March this year, which I'm proud of. I love being 20. So, obviously, I moved out of home, got my own space now. That's cool. I wanted to talk about some of my addictions as a teenager. So I think most teenage people from where I am at the moment, they often start off with smoking cannabis, and I had that kind of ride, but the only difference was on my 16th birthday I went over with my friends and they were all smoking pot, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. But before, so I think I remember reading something about smoking green tea and how it can get you mid-high. So I thought to myself, let's have a couple of cones of green tea. So I remember that, and I remember every moment from that. It was at a point of time where I ran away from home and I wanted to move to somewhere else, and I think my father and my grandmother reported to the police that I was missing. And they kind of had an idea where I was. So there was that fear of being caught. So I just started. I can wait. I just started to rip cones of green tea. And I think after the fourth cone, I start coughing, and I was like, ugh, I was like coughing really hard. Yeah, and then so my friend was like, dude, you're gonna be wrecked, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. I was pretty quiet, but then bam, I start cracking up laughing out of nowhere. I am literally laughing the whole night. I could not stop. Like, it was really weird. I remember my friends saying, dude, it should have worn off by now. But she was unaware that she was somewhat aware that I was on medication for my condition and stuff. So I think I was up all night looking at the ceiling, laughing my fucking head off. And it wasn't very, it was funny at the time. But then I remember hearing sirens, and I stopped. And I had that control to stop. But then after that, I was like, and just kept on laughing. I remember making a cup of tea, just being stupid. Would you like one sugar or two? And just all that crap. So then I'm like, if that's what green tea is like, what's cannabis like? So I moved to Melbourne with my brother, and we rented out a unit. And I think I was like, dude, I'm gonna spin around so hard and fast and as much as I can until I throw up. So I was spinning round and round. And I was like, hey Joel, you got any dope? Sorry to name drop you, but he's like, yeah, I do. So then I got high off cannabis. It's such a weird feeling because, as they say, the first time of everything, of anything, is the best time. I remember I smoked cannabis and I had like four or three tokes out of a pipe, very tiny pipe, and I was like, holy shit, this was like a new world for me. Not knowing that it was just numbing my emotions and feeling a fucking hole. I was like, holy crap, dude, this is insane. I knew from then on I had a problem, and I had a very addicted personality, and I was smoking all the time, and I was working at Macca's half the time, and I'd always go into work high, 6 in the morning, fucking making bacon and egg McMuffins and ham and cheese pockets high as a kite. Um, that was weird. I couldn't handle the amount of work from McDonald's because it was too much, too hard and too quick. Not helping that my restaurant's manager was a bit of a angry fuck. So if he's watching this, but yeah. So then, like, I moved back home. I came back in 2017, and I remember some of my high school friends. They were like, "Oi, dude, do you smoke? Do you skate?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, fucking oath, I love a good smoke." And he's like, "All right, come around my place at 7 o'clock or something in the next 2 nights, and we'll go for a sesh." Sesh. It's the first time I heard sesh because in Melbourne they have different terms compared to up here in Queensland. For example, if you mix tobacco and weed together, that's called mix. If you mix tobacco and weed up here, it's called spin. And like, I heard like, oh, we should get a stick. I'm like, a, a stick? Like, isn't that just like an actual stick? I remember laughing so hard about it. So then after that, I had a really huge journey on cannabis, and I remember in 2017, I got back into watching the Wiggles and shit, and I was like, dude, their music is not only trippy, it's fucking smart. It's good shit. I didn't care about the vocals. I didn't care about the fucking dance moves. All I cared about was the backing vocals, the way they sounded, and the music. And Jeff is a fucking star. So 2017 was like a huge creative smoke binge for myself. And then like there was a time where I was like, I feel like shit. I gotta stop smoking this crap because I was smoking it for like a whole year or something. So that's when 2018 came along, and I remember in the beginning of 2018, there was a party on, and I had like a purple bong, like a double chamber, something cool that I was proud of to have. And then like one time, someone that was like, "Oi, dude, come over behind the DJ desk," because he knew that I like to observe and see what other musicians or disc jockeys do. So I'm just like, where do I put this? And he's like, oh, just leave it on, just leave it on the table. Little did I know, 2 seconds later, somebody just goes yoink and puts in their bag and fucks off. And I walk back and I'm like, I think I forgot something. And I was going up to all my mates saying, I think somebody took my fucking bong. I was like freaking out. And the mother, who was a Christian and was anti-drugs, anti-alcohol, she walks up to the group of mates and she's like, "Is something wrong? Like, what's going on?" And she's like, oh, "Fucking," I was like, so, "Just somebody stole my bong. It's a purple bong with a double chamber to catch the ash." And my mates are looking at me going, "What are you doing? Don't. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" All that. And then she's like, "Okay, shit. I'll look everywhere. I'll ask everywhere." And like, she asks us all the mates. She's fucking looking in the bin. She's looking in the wheelie bin. And then my mates were like, "How did you do that?" And I'm like, adults with kids or teenagers, you gotta be super duper honest with them. Don't sugarcoat crap. Be honest. So that's how I learned to be social. I had the capacity to socially communicate with adults. Then I was like, weed's fucked. Weed is fucked. It's a depressant. It numbs you. So then around February 2018 comes along, and I was at that age where I was like, dude, I don't like the taste of alcohol, but if it hits you well, fucking bring it over. And I remember my first time I was getting drunk, I was at one of my best mates' gather, and they had uh, drinks around and stuff like that. And I was like, can I have a drink? And he's like, you don't drink? I'm like, well, I will now. I crack open a can. It tasted like crap. It tasted horrible. But I kept on drinking and drinking. This was only one can. Then I'm just like, holy shit, I'm starting to feel something. And some chick around the corner was like, dude, you only had one fucking drink, you pussy. But everybody else was like reminding her that this is his first drink. And I remember just drinking, getting fucking drunker and drunker. And I was saying to all these chicks, I'm not gonna fucking remember tonight, let me tell you that. I'm not gonna remember shit. But that was the first time I was like, with alcohol, you have to go to the toilet so much times. It's not an actual urine, because it's like a clear water urine. So it's not actually piss, it's hard to explain what it is exactly, but my doctor told me that. So then I was like, fuck pot, let's do alcohol. I remember I was watching a heap of Leno and Woodley, and just having vodka and orange juice and stuff. And I think it got to a point where every morning I'd wake up, I'd make a cup of tea, and I'd put some vodka in it as a cuppa. And I didn't really fucking care. It was like, if I was drunk, that was it. And my father was like, you don't want to be drunk every day because you'll be classified as a drunk. Drink every weekend, So I was kind of fighting with him about that. Then got off the alcohol. I really felt like shit afterwards. Then I had my jaw surgery. Now that surgery was pretty painful. Like what they had to do was they had to cut into my mouth right to where the nerve was. And like that, I think they ticked something on each side to make it snap, and then they had to adjust it 14 millimeters forwards. But before they could do any of that, they had to take out my 4 wisdom teeth, and I can still feel the scars with my tongue. I can still feel them, more so on this side. But yeah, and like the daytime nurses were that I felt like they did not even care. They'd come up and say, "What's your pain out of 10?" And I was like, 9. They're like, "Okay, can we order in some children's Panadol here?" I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? I am fucking 10 out of 10 pain, and you give me 12-year-old Panadol. I was so close to going off. I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow, I couldn't fucking keep my saliva in my mouth. I couldn't even lick my... Like, dude, fuck. So then I kind of became nocturnal because the nighttime nurse who worked overnight, she was really, really caring, and she knew that I was in so much pain and I couldn't swallow. And I had that thing where they have the eye... Is that something in there? They kind of... La la la. And she gave me some proper medication to go into my veins and go up and cold. And I told her 9, 10. I was in so much pain. And I was even a bit hesitant to say that I was probably 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 because I didn't want to seem like an addict, like how I was. So I think after 4 days after that, I got discharged and all that. And then like I see a dietitian, and then I see a pharmacist, and she's like, here's this bottle of oxycodone. You need to have 10 milligrams, not milligrams, 10 milliliters a day when you need it. So that means if I felt the pain 2 times in one day, I would take that. But that medication, I was like, ooh, the pain was gone, but I was on top of the world, man. I'm like, well, your dad passes the soup, oh, fuck you. And he's like, that's my boy, you know? And, so then I was like, okay, so after the bottle was finished, I was like, I'm in no pain, but what do I do now? My dad, he was taking Panadine for like his shoulder. He used to be a roofer, and I think he fucked up his shoulder pretty bad. Excuse me. And like I was still in some form of pain, but I was like, hey Dad, can I just have a couple of fucking Panadine forts? And for those who don't know what Panadine fort is, it's like Panadol times 12. Sorry. And so like I was taking those. The pain would go away, but I would feel emotionally. I would get, they make you feel good. They make you uplifting. They make you feel good. Make you feel happy, motivated. Just like everything's cool and everything's sweet with a smile on your face. So, and this was actually a time where you can get Panadine Fort over the counter at chemist. They don't do that anymore because the rates of overdoses in America with like taking things to help you sleep and things to help you pain, the overdose percentage was so high. So then the Australian government was kind of like, okay, I have to, not me, they have to make sure it is prescripted and prescripted only for these certain reasons. Not for this, not for that, not for la la la, this, and this. And Dad was entitled to get 260 pills of Panadine Fort each month because of his shoulder. Physicists, well, no, sorry. The physios were like, do this exercise. They weren't helping him, and I don't blame him. I don't blame my father for how fucked up they were. So then I kind kept on going, hey Dad, can I have some panting Fort a lot more often? And it got to a point where I would I would go into my dad's safe where he kept his pills, cracking the code and stealing a box or two or three or four. And then I was at that point where I was taking like 8 to 15 pills of those a day, while watching Michael Jackson going through a deposition about copyright or something like that, just being super high. And I was like, this is life. Literally like this. This is life. That's not fucking life. You're so numb, man. So then, like, Dad knew I had a problem with punting for, and my family GP knew I had a problem. But I remember one day Dad said, you can get these types of painkillers that has muscle relaxants in them, and you can get them over the counter. And I was like, okay, how will they ask me any questions? And Dad was like, yeah, you got to be over 18, and you got to say that your doctor knows about it and all that and stuff like that. So then I was kind of like, okay, I can do that. Me looking like a 10-year-old as I do now, had to show my ID. Then I went there, I got the pills, and when I got home, I took 3. And I'm like, oh, they're good. But my heart was feeling like it's working too hard, you know. It started to slow down. But I couldn't even go to sleep, so I thought taking more of these medications would help me go to sleep. And like, I can even recall times where after that night I was up all night waiting for the chemist to come open. And I think I waited at the front door until it was open from like 7 to 7:30, and I walked up and I'm like, is there any chance I could have more of those pills? And she said, no, you got them last night. And then she kind of stops and goes, you haven't taken them all night, yeah? Don't tell me you've taken them all already. And I'm like, no. But then I was like, okay, if she won't get me any, I'll go to the other chemist. And I went to the other chemist and got more and took them all. Then I was even more fucked up. And even after taking those first 3, I was texting my brother about it because he knew about my addiction. And I was texting him, and I couldn't even read. I couldn't see, especially with my glasses on. That'd make it worse. I was trying to go out, trying to go in. I couldn't fucking see a thing. I couldn't read. And I'll even try to pop up some pictures of our conversations where I couldn't fucking see, dude. And then I remember calling my other brother on the phone. And I was like, hey man, how you going? And he's like, dude, you're slurring. What are you on? I'm like, nah, I'm fine. I just got a couple of these tablets. And he's like, dude, like, you gotta stop. And I'm like, I know. But me as an 18-year-old, you don't listen to other people. You think you know everything. So that was pretty fun, that journey. Fuck no. But so after that I was like, cannabis? And this was a time where I still had my passion for music, but I just formed my first band, the Ankle Smokers. Ankle Smokers. Don't tell me how I came up with that name. I can thank a friend, and that's all I can say. That sounds really fucking wrong. Fuck, I was trying to burp there. No, thank you. Excuse me very much. Shit. It's been 25 minutes. So I was on the pod again. Long term short. My computer was broken and I was coming off the dope. And I heard that when you come off marijuana, you need to relearn what each emotion is. You need to learn what, if you feel, you need to learn what being sad is like, what being angry is like, what being happy is like, what being careful is like, what being cautious, everything. You got to relearn each and every emotion. And when you get off pot, you get the worst of those emotions, so you know that is what the emotion does to you. So once you've done that, you're all good. But I remember going to my doctor and I was having some real issues for going to sleep, as I've always had since I was a kid. I mean, I was taking medication prescribed to me to help my condition properly since the age of 4 or 5. So then I was like, I went to my doctor and I'm like, I cannot sleep. I cannot go to sleep. And he referred me to a private psychiatrist or something. And this is where people get confused with psychiatrists and psychologists. Is when you go to a psychiatrist, you tell them how you feel, but they don't talk to you from a psychological aspect. They talk to you because they've studied so much and they know what all medication does, and they know what to describe a person and all that. You know what I mean. So taking he prescribed me some stuff to help me go to sleep and some stuff to help me feel less agitated in the day, which helps, it helps. But I still had some form of addiction to prescription medications. And I remember going to my doctor again, not the psychiatrist, my GP, going, is there any chance I can get some Valium? And those who don't know what Valium is, it's a form of benzodiazepines, or whatever you call that category of drugs. Diazepam. It's the most medical term name. And I remember I was popping those like fucking jelly beans, and there is a high chance of overdosing on those. All it takes is one too much. Then I was popping jelly beans, and I felt sad. I felt happy, but I felt really, really just like, dude, this is, I don't know what this is, but this is fucking great. That was so weird though. I remember calling up my nan, and she was like, "Are you on your medication?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "All right, I gotta go now." She calls up my dad. My father was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And my nana was really, really worried because she heard me slurring worse than what I had slurred in those muscle relaxants, Panadol. So and not only that, coming off Valium, with the detox, you can get some really deadly repercussions. Which it's not good. You can die. You can really, really die. And I'm not exaggerating. You can die. So that was my journey of addictions. And now I just take medications that my doctor and my GP have prescribed to me that are meant to be for me. So having Asperger's, having insomnia, anxiety, and having Graves' disease. And what that is, it's like it's a type of hyperthyroidism or something. It's where your thyroid works way too fast, and not only that, you get puffy eyes, you get anxious, and one of the biggest side effects, which is so hard to describe, was skin sensitivity to the sun and heat, and that is fucking hell. You you can't you, you can't explain it. You really like it's like they're like, dude, like what's wrong? And I'm just like, dude, fuck, I can't control it. And I remember we went to the beach. My brother and I went to the beach, and I was like, it was in the car, and in summer, it's fucking hot up here in summer. Especially at the beach and inside of a car, and and like my brother was like, are you coming? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be out in like 2 seconds. And I was screaming. Like, I was fucking screaming because the skin sensitivity was like, I wanted to rip my skin off and just flicker away all this heat sensitivity that I got. So the medication that controls my Graves' disease, it works. It doesn't make me flare up. It doesn't make me shit right after I eat. It doesn't make my eyes go puffy. And if anything, it makes me more clearer. So that's my story with drugs and alcohol and prescription drugs. To finish this, to finish this off, I want to say, um, especially up here, people are starting to sell benzodiazepines on the street, and they're not prescribed, therefore a recreational use. And that's something I am really against. Being somebody that's been down that road and has gone off on it and has come back off it. Luckily, I had a doctor who knew I was on benzodiazepines and who knew that I was trying to get off them with his help. Now, these people are charging, I don't know what the price is. I think it's like $10 for one pill. Again, I might be wrong, I don't know. This is something I am so against, and the reason being is once they run out of the things they're selling and they're enjoying the high, dude, they're gonna die, and they can't go to a doctor and say, I'm coming off benzodiazepines. It's gonna be a lot more harder because the doctor's gonna be like, how the fuck did you get benzodiazepines in you? How the fuck did you get Valium? How did you get fucking clonazepam in you? How did you do it? And then you have to be honest and say, some dudes are selling them on the street. And then the doctor's gonna be like, how the fuck did he get them? Is he prescribed? Did you see his name? Or at least 4 or 5 aliases or whatever that word is, fake names? And they're just going to be like, no. So that's going to be that's going to be such a hard thing to get off because there is more chances of you overdosing or dying because of these benzodiazepines. And to get treatment for it, you have to go overseas and go under propofol, which is it's a major anesthetic for its proper use is meant to be in a major surgical theatre. That's how Michael Jackson died. he took too many benzodiazepines and he got too much propofol in him. That's how he died. Um, I could go into that a lot more. But yeah, that's my thing. Before I go, I do want to find some pictures, which saves me some editing. Saves me from editing about me just being off my head. Here. Now bear with me. This might be a bit weird. Oh, look, it's me. So if I show you here, I'll probably take you off. Right. Now, keep in mind, this is a private chat between me and my brother. And he's a wonderful dude, and he's always been there for me. And I love him for who he is and the man he's become. So, okay. So I'll load more here. Okay. So, please bear with me. Okay, so I think I was asking about, hey man, sorry to bother you about Charlie wanted to get on the Netflix and forgot the glasses or whatever. Glasses? He said, glasses? I said, I meant password. I couldn't really sleep. My eyes are so hard to read. I can't read a thing even with my glasses on. And he's like, because you gotta sleep, bro. And I'm like, and again, I can't sleep, so I can't type. I'm not taking 500 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams of codeine a day. Not knowing if you did, you'll be fucking dead. Actually, I take that back. That's actually a common dosage of Pending 4. I've gone back to medication that doesn't harm you, relaxes you, and relaxes the muscles. No tension, no stress, no anxiety. Well, there's a little bit, but not much as always. AWS. BROP. I was like, what? He's like, who gave it to you? I just said, I got it myself. Dad just recommended me to get it and see if it works. They are a lot more safer than a normal Pending 4. Stronger than painkillers is what I was addicted to. Little did I know that, dude, that's not right. That's completely the opposite. Each drug is as dangerous as the other. And I was even aware, sorry if I'm typing a bit slow, I can't see shit. He's like, what are they called? Well, what do you mean you can't see shit? I'm like, I can't even see in front of me because I'm so blurry now with my eyes. I can see far away, but when it's close up, I can't see anything but distressed blurs. Oh, and they're called, hold up, give me a min. I couldn't even fucking spell that. I couldn't even see that. I can't even pronounce that now. It's like, sorry it took a while. My eyes are so fucked and being stupid. I was blaming my eyes, not myself. I was like, fuck you, eyes. He's like, how much did you take? And I said, around 2 when I needed it. So that'll be around 6 to 8 a day max. You should only take 2, bro. I'm like, yeah, true, but for a reason. But I take it more for a reason, not because I like to dance to Michael Jackson, not that music, etc. I take it for medical reasons to help me calm until I see a professional who can helpfully fix me up. Plus, 6 to 9 tablets is very rare. Denying that. I don't want you to get the wrong idea, and I'm not going off or anything. I've just got things that work for me and I know what I'm doing. And I was like, are you mad at me, bro? I was like, of course I'm not mad, bro. I'm just concerned. And it's like, yeah, I get what you need. No need to worry. To overdose these pills, you would have to take you would have to take around 20 boxes in one go and never wake up. So I know what the right thing to do is. Dude, to be honest, I'll put myself up again. Here I am. Everything I said about I know what I'm doing, how much I'm taking, how much this is, and what the overdose is like, that's me being in denial about my drug use, especially that medication. I felt my heart was going to stop, because your heart's a muscle, obviously. So you take too many pills of those and your heart's going to stop. And then your respiratory system would stop. That's the thing that tells your brain to make you breathe, to make you see, to make you move, to make you talk. So, again, everybody has a different story, but I want people to know I have been down that road and back again 14,000 fucking times. And I do not recommend taking drugs. I do not recommend drinking alcohol. I do not recommend taking strong painkillers or even buying benzodiazepines off the street for recreational use. If you feel anxious, if you feel like you can't sleep, if you feel this way or that way, talk to a fucking doctor. I'm sorry if I sound so rough. Talk to a doctor. He knows what to do. He has trained for years. He has got a certificate, or she's got a certificate for doing what she does, or what he or she does. The doctor knows the fuck. The doctors always know what to do for your benefit, and they say, and look, they keep you up to date, man. I just wanted to point that out, and I wanted to finally express my story of my drug use, because people are like, stop your whinging. Everything I have told you just then in this video, after 43 minutes and 13 seconds of this video, dude, I've done it, and I don't recommend it. It's all true, and there's more to it. I just can't find the words to describe it. So don't take drugs. Don't drink alcohol. Don't fucking buy medication off the street. If you feel something's wrong, talk to a doctor. Now that weight has been lifted off my shoulders, I wanted to wish everybody a good afternoon, a good day. Hope you enjoy your Christmas coming up soon. Hope you get all your family together and all that. And I hope you stay happy and you stay safe with this coronavirus thing going on. Just do what they tell you. You know, if they say put on a mask, put on a mask. Follow the law. Follow the rules. I've learnt as an adult, you can do anything you want, but you gotta follow the rules. And if you do something enjoyable that fucking fills a hole, you're going to pay a price. And that price is fucking heavy. And you are not going to be happy with it. But if you make it through it, you are a brave fucking dude. You are a brave fucking girl. And by all means, you're the hero if you've made it through. And if people are going through that path right now and are trying to get off something, keep going. Keep fucking going, because you will make it. and you'll be so proud of yourself. Honestly, I'm proud of myself. Even though it's been a fucked up journey, I am so proud of myself to sit here and share my experience from the other side of my mind. One that is not numb. It's not fucking like drunk. It's not me slurring. Dude, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I tried to make it as raw and as uncut as possible, as you've probably seen now. So I wish everybody good luck to the end of the year, and good luck for the new year, and I hope things will be good for you and your family and your friends. See you later, guys. Have a good one.